Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, and the fully enlightened One. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be upon you all, friends in the Dhamma. Today I am going to talk to you about a great and compassionate advice given by the Buddha regarding the association with people, especially a fool and evil-minded persons. So just before the Dhamma talk today, I would like to just wish to you all, by the infinite power of the supreme virtues of the Buddha, may you be free from defilements during this listening Dhamma. By the infinite power of the supreme qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may your mind be filled with faith, wholesome energy, concentration and wisdom, and also the contemplative aspect and contemplation in order to understand each and every Dhamma factors found and described in this Dhamma talk. So with that aspiration, I would like to just turn to the topic. It's very important to listen to this Dhamma portion, and also at the end we can have a discussions as well as just relating our experiences connecting to this topic. When we go through the Mangala Sutra, from the very beginning, the Buddha's advice and instructions starts from a very popular phrase, Asevanacha balanam. Asevanacha balanam, not to associate, not to be with fools and mean-minded, evil-minded persons. Asevanacha balanam. Panditanancha sevana. Find good-hearted, spiritual friends to be with and to associate. Why? This is the ground, this is the basis, this is the foundation of wholesome practice and also a spiritual journey. We should not forget that once the Buddha advised Venerable Ananda in this way. Once the Venerable Ananda sitting before the Buddha mentioned in this way, Venerable Sir, it occurred to me like this. This Buddha Sasana is existing for the benefit of human beings and divine beings because of two reasons and two factors, two causes. Half of this Buddha Sasana is existing because of the Buddha. The other half is existing because of the Kalyana Mitra. At that time, the Buddha advised Venerable Ananda, don't say like that. Don't say like that. This whole Buddha Sasana is grounded and based upon the Kalyana Mitra's association. Kalyana Mitra's spiritual friends, because of spiritual friendships, Kalyana Mitras association is the main and foremost and strong ground for the spiritual journey, spiritual practice. You see how kindly and clearly the Buddha mentioned. And also when we just go back to the very first verse and stanza given in the Mangala Sutta, it says from the beginning, not to do something. You see, it is a negation, the negative side. Not to associate fools and mean-minded. Aseva nacha balana. Panditanancha sevana. Be with good-hearted, wise people. Why? Because grounded and based upon this association, we all will be able to just initiate our spiritual journey and travel along this spiritual journey. Ultimately, we will be able to end up the sansaric journey, miserable journey, and attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. That is how the Buddha's advice comes. Here today, I like to have a very famous, well-known Jataka story, but Jataka story, it's a Jataka stories are some lifetime of the Bodhisattva. How the Bodhisattva, with his strong and great aspiration to become a Buddha, practiced Dhamma and perfections in his previous lives and existences. Because it gives us much advice and also it covers various areas. And as human beings and divine beings, we are not free from associations and we are not free from the worldly things. We have to just be, we have to work, we have to talk, we have to create thoughts about the worldly matters, families and sons and children, sons and daughters, parents, wives and husbands, and businesses, and so many things are there. They are worldly. Those are worldly. That's true. But we should have thoughts about those things. So therefore, we are not free from the worldly matters when we are going to live, when we are living in this world. Therefore, the advices and instructions just emerging from the Jataka story is valuable, it's priceless. We can just apply those advices and the Bodhisattva advices into our life. And also we can correct our life. We can just avoid things not suitable for us. And also just taking advices into our heart. We can follow what the Buddha asked us to do, what the Buddha advised us to just follow. So we can turn to the Jataka story. Once the Bodhisattva was born into a rich family in Benares. It's many thousands years ago. Because of his previous merit power, he was born into a Brahmin clan, Brahmin family. That family was very rich. And they had lands and properties, treasures, and everything was there. And then the parents gave the Bodhisattva a beautiful name because that birth was very famous. Villagers got to know about the Bodhisattva's birth, and also the townsfolk got to know about the Bodhisattva's birth. And it was fortune and good luck for the family and also all the generations and the people lived there. Therefore, the parents and also the teachers, Brahmin teachers, Considering these matters, considering these reasons, they gave the Bodhisattva a beautiful name called Akithi. Kitti means the famous and well-known person. That Kitti, Kirti in Sinhala. Kitti, Akithi is also with an kind of a supporting word, and Akithi is a very famous, well-known, and also a glorious person. That is a simple meaning. So this Akithi, the Bodhisattva, was born to that family and also received a very good name and also the popular name. And then after he was okay. Now it's growing. And then after a couple of years, he had another sister. So she was given a name called Yasavati. So the Bodhisattva Akithi and his sister Yasavati and grew up and lived there. And the parents kindly and looked after them. They had a very luxurious life because they were both born into a rich family. So when the Bodhisattva grew up to the up to 16 or 17, 16, 15, 16 years, just quite young, then he was sent to the education center just existed there. And so he got educated, spending few years the education center under the well-known teachers, Brahmin teachers. He went back at home because he completed his education. And his young sister was there. Then after sometimes the parents died. So after parents passed away, the people or treasurers, you can say, the people who looked after their family treasures and wealth came to Bodhisattva and mentioned, Sir, now your parents and grandparents, parents passed away. And we are looking after treasures and wealth on behalf of the family. That is our career and business. So now the ownership and of the old property has come to you. In this village and that village, we have this much of land and properties, and also wealth is this much and that much. All the people, the treasurers came to him, to the Bodhisattva, and mentioned how much he has, the family has as wealth and treasure. So the Bodhisattva, induced and motivated by his karmic energy from the past existence of what he has practiced, the Bodhisattva thought himself that the owners of this property, owners of this wealth and treasure have all gone. They are no more. They have all gone, departed from this world. When they departed, when they died, they have never taken even a bit of wealth and money and property with them. It will happen to me as well. Even though I take this ownership of this property, I will never take anything with me. The same thing will happen to me. But I should behave wisely regarding this property, regarding this wealth, regarding this money, regarding this gold and silver. I should translate, I should transform and change these wealth and property and treasures into merit power and wholesome power, so that I can take it along with me when I am going to pass away. So thought, in this way, Bodhisattva thought to himself. So then he listened to the people, those who are responsible for the property, and also looked after the wealth for the family. Then he directly went to his sister, Yasavati, and asked her to take the custody of the property. My sister, please accept the custody and ownership of this property, because I am not interested in keeping these things. You can do whatever you like. The Bodhisattva asked his sister. Then she inquired into what was going to the Bodhisattva was doing. My dear brother, what are you going to do now? Just giving all the custody of the wealth to me. Then he mentioned, sister, I'm not interested, and also I'm not interested. I don't like this to behave and also to keep this lay life. I would like to just hand over to you the ownership of the property. I will live lay life and also become an ascetic. That is my choice. That is my interest. So the Bodhisattva wanted to just live a lay life. But immediately, all of a sudden, straight away, he can't do it because he held a social responsibility, because his life, that the Brahmin family is a part of that city and also the part of that country. Therefore, directly he should go to the king and also should take the permission from the king, because they are well-known families. So the Bodhisattva went to see the king of the country, the Benares. So got the permission from the king and also just tried to just leave. At that time, something happened like this. The sister did not like to just take the responsibility and also to behave with the according to behave regarding the property and also the wealth and treasures. She liked to follow his brother. She directly said that, my dear brother, if you are going to leave these wealth and treasures behind you like a dirt, just put out of your mouth, I will never take it on my head. So I will just follow you and also just would like to become an ascetic. So this discussion, this conversation, and also the bodhisattvas, this the noble attitude is just quickly spread in the city and also the villages. Then he made an announcement to spread any person, any family, any man or any woman who are interested having property and wealth and money can come to the Akithi Brahmin's house and take what you like. So in such a way, just Bodhisattva Akithi opened the doors for people and for public, and the people started getting to the house, and they just took, some people took money, some people took chairs and tables, some people took collected the bowls and the glass bowls and various things. The Bodhisattva and his sister waited for this house to be emptied for 7 days, but it didn't happen. They were waiting for this house to be emptied and for people come in and carry out anything. And they were waiting for that, but didn't happen. For continuously 7 days, they kept the building and also the house open. But ultimately decided that, it is also kind of enjoying. It's a kind of enjoyment to see people coming and taking these things. It is also a kind of desire and greed. Therefore, should not wait for people to come and collect everything. Before that, just opening the door for all the public, we should live. So this statement, the Bodhisattva's behavior regarding his treasures spread quickly. Then also his friends and some townsfolk, people lived in city and connected people, and all friends and family members and some other villagers also joined their journey. A huge group, a big group of people there to follow the Bodhisattva's idea of ascetic life. However, they just left, and they just left towards the south of Varanasi city in North India. And then they ultimately found a place to make huts and build huts and create and made a very nice and beautiful serene hermitage for ascetic practices. So they observed kind of ascetic sila and ascetic uh, life, and observed the ascetic sila and the virtues, just practice according to the time. Then they started their life, and the sister also became a nun. In this way, they started their ascetic life, and the other followers also did the same. And it was a very peaceful, very famous uh, hermitage for every one of them. So, having heard the Bodhisattva's behavior and changing his life into ascetic life, people started bringing food and gifts, and they provided various things, medicinal things, food and drinks, and everything what is required and needed for ascetic people, ascetic life. So that the hermitage and monastery was very famous. Then people, the city people, villagers also started to visit in this. It was quite crowded. And if the Bodhisattva lived in the Brahmin house before, only limited number of people just visit occasionally. But now it is not so. Every day, in the morning, the evening, afternoon, every time people started coming and visiting the place, because it was such a famous hermitage at that time. Then later, the Bodhisattva decided and thought to himself in this way: I left my lay life because I want to practice ascetic practices and meditation. But having come here, what happened? Huge village like monastery I have had, and the people followed me. And therefore, uh, we have big company and group, and villages keep coming, and gifts are there. Now we are very famous. Therefore, this uh, famous and gifts and everything is a kind of hindrances, and also kind of disturbance for this ascetic practice, ascetic life. Therefore, I should leave from this village and from this hermit for looking, searching, seeking other place. So the Bodhisattva just again went further down, and having known this, his sister also just followed him, because unknown to any one of the monastery, ascetic hermitage, just Bodhisattva disappeared. And having gone to the down south, he practiced ascetic practices and meditated there strenuously and seriously. Then the Bodhisattva was able to create psychic abilities to just see through the other's mind, and also to just travel in this air. So this because of that his hard practice, he was able to create and have that energy, supernatural power. Then his sister and also the all the other ascetics found that the Bodhisattva had left the monastery and hermitage. Then they just went down in search of the Bodhisattva. And ultimately they found Bodhisattva started another place and another place, and also there he became very famous again. Then the Bodhisattva thought to himself that just living in a group is a hindrance. Living in a group is very harmful for my life and ascetic practice. It is because it is very destructive. It's not in a ruinous way, but monastic way. It is disturbing. You can't grow up. You can't grow up in the uh, spiritual life. So many noises, sounds, and disturbances there. Then the Bodhisattva thought to himself, ultimately, I better now go to a kind of place where no one knows me. So ultimately, the Bodhisattva, according to this Jataka story, went down to a small island called Snake's Island, that is called Ahidipa, nearby Nagadeepa, Snake's Island, Ahidipa, where only Kara leaves and Kara trees are there. In Sinhala we say Karaga. So these Kara trees are there. So Bodhisattva went there not in the sea, but in the sky, in the air, because he has that. He at that time he had that psychic ability to travel in the air. So he landed in that island and found a big car tree and started living under that tree because it's very hot and also surrounded by the great ocean. No food, nothing. But car leaves and car fruits occasionally there. Sometimes seasonally car fruits, the trees bear car fruits, and sometimes the buds, sometimes tender leaves. The Bodhisattva started living on them. Every day, the Bodhisattva just cook only one meal a day. That means collect and pick kara leaves, tender kara leaves, and just boil it. And then he takes as much as he like. So then the day, in this way, he passed days. His virtuous power, his moral energy, virtuous energy is very strong. Why? Because he does not have a desire and any harmful thoughts and aversion to anyone. No one is there to be seen or to see and meet with Bodhisattva. Just only himself living on that in that island. So, because of this ascetic virtue, because of the Bodhisattva's ascetic life, something happened in the divine world. Because when we just go through the divine celestial world, in order, there are 6 celestial worlds, starting from the 4 kings abode. That means Chatur Maharajika. The after Chatur Maharajika, up in the up the Tavatinsa. Tavatinsa is the word for the goat Shaka. Shaka is occasionally make visits to human world as well. Occasionally, not every time. And Shaka felt, his Shaka has a marble seat, as it is said, marble seat. That is called Shaka Bhavana. Occasionally, the Shaka feels some uncomfortable heat there, so that he cannot sit on it. Then he knows something is going to happen. So he knew that someone is practicing, someone is trying to take this throne, take this seat from me. Therefore, the Sakka, whoever lives there, had a kind of doubt. Then from the Sakka's divine eye, he searched for what is the cause, what is the reason for this uncomfortable feeling to have in this from this seat. So then the Bodhisattva, the Sakka checked it. Then the Bodhisattva, the Sakka uh, knew that something is there happening in the Snake's Island. Only one person is the only one ascetic lives there. His virtuous power is so strong, and his virtuous energy, and he had doubt. Is he living this ascetic life for this throne or something else? And Sakka directly did not see his mind, but he wanted to check. Then the Sakka, in the guise of a Brahmin, just another Brahmin, ascetic Brahmin, the Sakka went down to the Snake's Island. The Bodhisattva on that day was about to have his meal, lunch. The Bodhisattva collected kara leaves and cooked it and boiled it. Kara leaves, as far as I know, and kara leaves are not bitter and not hard. It is like a papadam. So it is tasty and eatable. And sometimes, you can fry it. Sometimes you can boil it, like tea leaves. So the Bodhisattva boiled and cooked it, and without salt, without spice, was about to take his lunch. At that very moment, the Sakka, in the guise of Brahmin and also just another ascetic, just appeared before his hut, ascetic hut. So the Bodhisattva saw this. The Bodhisattva is very eager and interested in giving and practicing generosity. But previously, as a layperson, he gave everything what came to his life, authority from his parents and grandparents. But here, he knew that I do not have money, I do not have wealth, I do not have anything, but only this meal, only this leaf. Even with this meal, if I can create, if I can have practice the generosity, just offering this portion of this bit of kara leaves, that also will bring me much pleasure, much happiness. That is the thought the Bodhisattva had. For a long period of time, living in this the snake's island, did not see anyone else. But on this occasion, the Bodhisattva found someone else. So Bodhisattva was so glad to offer his meal. So both of his hand took that bowl and offered that the cooked kara leaves to that guest. That Sakka Bodhisattva did not know that he was a Sakka. So Sakka took that meal, and after a few steps he disappeared. That is the same way the Bodhisattva, after offering that kara leaves, his lunch, was pleased. He had much happiness, much pleasure, what he practiced on that very day. So he was so happy and passed that way the whole day. The following day, the Bodhisattva did the same. He cooked another portion of leaves, and then when he was about to eat it, then the Sakka, in the guise of that Brahmin, appeared again. Bodhisattva was so glad and so pleased to see him again, and took his portion of leaves and the lunch, and with both his hands he offered that portion to that visitor and the guide. Sakka just went away for a few steps and disappeared. The Sakka just visit in this way. Why? To check, to investigate what is the Bodhisattva's intention, to become a Sakka, to take and take the Sakka's seat, or for any other purpose. That is only that much only the Sakka wanted to know from that visit. Then the third day, Bodhisattva was in the second day also, the Bodhisattva was so happy, so pleased, much happiness he brought and he took by offering that his lunch to that guest. The third day, the following day, the Bodhisattva did the same. Now 2 days he did not have meal. And after offering the portion of kara leaves to the guest, the Bodhisattva never cooked again. And the third day, the Bodhisattva did the same. He was physically weak and frail because now 2 days he did not have enough food for the body. But his mind is so full of joy, full of happiness because of his practice. So third day, the Sakka again appeared in the guise of a Brahmin and ascetic. The Bodhisattva was now close to have his meal, similarly as before. So, Bodhisattva was so happy to see him again. Bodhisattva gave the portion of food, the kara leaves, to the guest. And that day, the Sakya just talked to the Bodhisattva. Then asked in this way, "Dear ascetic, now for 3 days, you just offer your meal to me. It is okay. What do you wish for? What is your aspiration? By offering your lunch, by offering your meal to a guest and ascetic, what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is your wish and aspiration?" Then the Bodhisattva said in this way, "Akithin diswa sammantang sakko bhutapati bhavi. King patyang mahabrahmi eko sammasi gammani." That is what the Sakka asked. Now in this Karalis, this Snake's Island, no one is there. No one is there to cook food for you. No people in the vicinity. No one comes and goes. Just only yourself living here. And also the environment and also this island is very hot and surrounded by the great ocean. And salty water is there. You can't drink water here. So just being conditioned and also the environment being in this way, why do you just live in this hard ascetic life? What is your purpose and aspiration? Then the Bodhisattva replied to him, because Sakka wanted to know clearly what was his intention. He was fear of his throne to be lost, maybe gone because of this ascetic virtue. Then Bodhisattva frankly just replied to the Sakka, "Dukkho punabbhavo Sakka sarirassacha bhedanang sammoha maranang dukkhang tasma samma vimāsava." That is the Dhamma we can find, we can apply to our life from this Bodhisattva's advice and reply to Sakka. Dukkho punabbhavo Sakka. Then after that, Bodhisattva knew Bodhisattva recognized it was Sakka. Dukkhu punabbhavo. You know, rebirth is suffering. Dukkhu punabbhavo. Sarirassacha vedana. The breaking up of the body is also bring much suffering. Sammoha maranang dukkha. Just living a life for some years, ultimately you have to end up the life. You have to just leave this body behind. So at that time, to have painful death is also a suffering. Sammoha maranam dukkha. Sammoha marana means just completely being forgetful. You just being deluded. Your mind being darkened. And that is called sammoha marana. And you just lose your sense and also mindfulness. You are not aware of your life. Sammoha maranam dukkha. So just being unmindful, if you are going to die, that is also a suffering. Tasma sammami vasava. Having understood these factors, I just practice this ascetic life to get away, to stop this punabbhava, and also to stop this breaking up of bodies, and also to stop the sammoha marana. That is the purpose, that is the reason, that is why I just practice this ascetic life, just being alone in this island. So the Sakka, having heard this part, this reply, was so pleased, so pleased. He became quite happy to hear such a wonderful answer. Etasmin te sulapite patirupe subhasite warang kassapate dhammi yankinchi manasichasi. Then the Sakka played in another way and asking ascetic, etasmin sulapite, what you said to me is clear. It's fairly well. It's excellent. Patirupe subhasite. It was most excellent. Your utterance is excellent, acceptable. Now I am happy to offer you a boon. Varang kassapate dhammi. I will give you a boon. Yankinsi manasichasi. You can ask me. You can wish for anything what you like. I will fulfill it. Choose now a boon what you prefer in your mind. That is what the Sakka said. Now, as a result of that dana performed by the ascetic, the bodhisattva ascetic, so the result has come to him. The Sakka is standing before him and ask him and requesting to ask him a boon and whatever he liked. Varangchi me ado Sakka sabbamutana missara. Sakka, the Lord of divine beings. If you are going to give me a boon, varangchi me ado Sakka. Now you are going to give me a boon. If you do, yena puttecha dharecha dhanadanyamcha dhanajamnyam piyanicha laddha nara tappanti solobuna my vasi. Sakka, if you are going to give me a boon and fulfill something I want this. What is that? Human beings in this world, just normally average human being, jena puttecha dharecha dhanadanyam piyanicha. People, when they just lose their sons and daughters, husband and wives, dhanadanyam piyanicha, and their money, property and wealth, and also just friendly people. Ladda narana tappanti. People have much greed, much desire, because they have sons and daughters and wealth and money and everything, but their desire is not fulfilled. Their desire is not perfect. Still, they keep asking, I need much, I need much, I need more this way. So, if you are going to give me a boon, please give me that lobha, that desire, that wish will never rise in my mind. That is the Bodhisattva's aspiration. Then the Sakka was so happy and pleased hearing the Bodhisattva's utterance and also the answer. Varanchemi adu Sakka. Then what happened? The Sakka asked the Bodhisattva to ask any other things you liked. Varanchemi adu Sakka sabbamutana mistara. The Lord of Divine Beings, if you are going to give me another boon, please just take into your mind. Kittang vattung hiranyancha. Gavasam das purisang ye jati ena jati ena jiyanti sodusu namaivasi. You have average people have property, fields, and money and golds and silver and some transportation and servants and the supporters. Living with them, when they are going to lose these things, then what happens? They will fall into sadness. Sadness will follow them, and sadness will obsess them. And that is a dosa, that is aversion, that is ill will. So that ill will never come to my mind. That ill will never rise in my mind. If you are going to give me a boon, that is my request. That is what I want to have for my life. Again, the Bodhisattva was happy. Sakka also happy to hear the utterance and advices from the Bodhisattva ascetic. Then the Sakka asked, it is okay, the ascetic. You can ask something more. I am happy to just give you offer a boon. Then this is the most important part that we try to cooperate and apply to our life. Varanche me adosakka sabbabhutana misara. The God Shak, the Lord of all celestial beings. If you are happy to offer a boon to me, I like to have that in this way. Balang na passe na suni. Nacha balena sangvasi. Balena allapa sallapang na kare nacha roche. I do not like to see mean-minded persons and fools. Balang na passe. I do not like to see mean-minded, evil-minded persons, balas. Nasuni, I will never hear about them. Nacha balina sangvati, I do not like to be with evil-minded, mean-minded people and fools. Balina allapa sallapa. May I never have an opportunity, a chance to converse with them, such mean-minded, evil-minded people. Ne kare nacharochai. May I never have even a thought to just be with them, to see them, to talk to them. You see, horrific, it sounds like horrific, you know. Balang ne passe, may I never see a fool. Ne suni, may I never hear about. Nacha balena sangvati, may I may I not have any opportunity to be with them. Balin Allah Sallah, may I never have and time and opportunity to just even exchange few words with them. Ne kare nacharoche. This is my aspiration. Sakka, if you happy, you can give that, you can fulfill that for me. So this is the Bodhisattva's advice. Bodhisattva's reply. The Sakka was amazed, and he was amazed to hear such a strong utterance and statement from the Bodhisattva. Then the Sakka asked this way, ascetic, the ascetic, why you are in that way completely, totally against these fools? What did they do for you? Why you are just asking such a boon? Not to associate, not to see fools. What have they done for you? Then the Bodhisattva said, Anayang nayanti dummedu. A fool leads other people, others to destruction, and they are ruined. Anayang nayanti dummedu. A fool makes others engage in evil things and miserable, unwholesome things. Adurayang niyujjati. Dunnayo seyo sohoti. Fool regards wrong things as right things. Mean-minded, evil-minded fool regard wrong things, evil things as meritorious things. Right as wrong, wrong as right. They hate it, what is spoken them friendly. Samma buddho pakuppati. The fool, if the fool is advised by wise, they will never take it to their heart. They will see that it is they will hate it. They will hate the wise people, good-hearted people's advice of stupendies. They don't know what the right conduct, what's the wrong conduct. That is the reason why I don't like their company, their association. The Bodhisattva replied in this way. Not to see them is a blessing. Not to see evil-minded people is a blessing, huge blessing. That is the important advice for every one of us. Then Bodhisattva, the Sakka was so happy to hear that, because the Sakka was also a kind of being who practiced merit and wholesome things in his previous life. That is why he has been reborn as a Sakka in this present birth. So Sakka could understand the reason why the Bodhisattva was refusing to see and be with to see fools and be with them. Then again he asked, the Sakka asked, Varanche me ado Sakka, if you like, you can ask any other boon. I am happy to just give you a boon, offer a boon. You can ask what you like. Then the Bodhisattva said, Varanchi mi ado Sakka sabba bhutana mitsara. Sakka, the Lord of divine beings, celestial beings. If you are going to offer me a boon again, I like to have this. Dhirang passe sune dhirang. I'd like to say wise people. I wish the following happiness. May the wise dwell with me. Dhirang passe. May I see the wise people. Sune dhirang. May I hear about the wise people. Dhirena sa sangvase. May I find a time and opportunity to be with them, to associate with them. Dhirena allapa sallapang. May I have the opportunity to talk to them, to converse with them. Tang kare tancharuchaye. May I have interest that kind of folks and to be with them. So that is the Bodhisattva's aspiration. Then the king of celestial being Sakha again asks why you are going to wish for being with the wise people in this way. What have they done for you as a benefit to something else? The Bodhisattva's reply was this: the wise people, intelligent, wise, good-hearted people expect the success of others and wish for success for others, prosperity of other people, friends and relatives. The wise does not just cause other people to just collapse and jeopardize others. And he regards the righteous things as right, right things as right, wrong thing as wrong. Sunayo seyo hoti samma buddho nakupati. When a wise person, intelligent person, good-hearted person is advised and pointed out something as wrong or right, they will accept it as right as wrong. Vinayanso pajana, they know the discipline. They know how to behave. They know how to behave rightly. Sadhu tena samagama. I like to be with such intelligent, wise, good-hearted people. So the celestial King Sakha was so happy to hear in this way from the Bodhisattva ascetic. Then again the Bodhisattva was asked by the Sakha in this way. Yes, I am happy. I am happy to give that promise. You can ask me again something if you wish to have in your life. Then the Bodhisattva said this way, Sakha, the Lord of celestial beings, you have already offered me so many boons. If you are going to offer another boon for me, this is my wish, this is my aspiration. May I never see you again. May I never see you again. And why? Because if you please do not come to this monastery and this island anymore. Just be with your life there. Why? Because if I just see you again and again, and your beauty, your glory, your brilliant life, the desire for your life may come up in my mind. The desire may arise, greed may rise in my mind if you are going to uh, come here again. Therefore, I like this simple ascetic life. Please do not come to this hermitage anymore. This is my last request and also the wish from your boon. So then the Bodhisattva advised in that way and requested the Sakha in that way. The Sakha thought to himself, this ascetic is not going to wish for his throne, but he has something else. What is something else? The Bodhisattva told him frankly, I just like to attain the Buddhahood. I am wishing for the omniscience. My sole aspiration is reaching that gaining that omniscient knowledge. So other than that, I do not have any aspiration for any worldly purposes. So here, the Bodhisattva, the uh, Buddha advice that expounded in the Mangala Sutta, very important, very useful, very beneficial advice and the teaching that is called not to associate with evil-minded fools, associate with, be with good-hearted, gentle-minded people. Balang na passe, that is the Bodhisattva's wish. Balang na passe na suni. Why? If you are with low-minded, mean-minded, evil-minded people, even just conversing with them, this is the danger you will have. The negative power of their thoughts will move to you, and also it may gradually transfer to your life. It may just flow into your life. You know, if you talk with mean-minded, evil-minded people for couple of hours, and also the way they speak, and also the word pattern, then also their tone, their aggressive attitude may just quickly fall into your mind as well. After a few minutes, you may also tend to speak in that way, in that tone. You see how badly and strongly the attitude, bad, evil attitude, just move to the next person. If you are strongly a good-hearted person, then you are safeguarded and protected. There's not worry. There's nothing to be worried about. But if you are not a matured-minded, developed-minded person, in that case, you are at risk. That is why the Bodhisattva and also the Buddha taking this Jataka story, the Jataka life, and the Bodhisattva life into consideration here in this last life. The Buddha advised, this is how you should find people to be with and also to associate with. So this spiritual journey, we as monks, we as lay people, and all are just, the one, we all have one goal and also one single aim. That is the last, as the getting away from the samsaric journey, to just put an end to this samsaric journey, and also to realize the supreme nibbana. So that is our aim, that is our aspiration, that is our goal. And but the way of traveling and also traveling towards that aspiration is different mode and also different speed. As monks, they just they have speedy power and also the environment to travel along, and also uh, meanwhile lay people have a kind of speed because they are busy with the worldly matters and family matters. Therefore, their speed is they can't have the same speed as monks do. So anyway, the aim and target and aspiration is the same of both. Their spiritual journey should be started based upon this good-hearted people, the Kalyana Mitra. And if you don't find Kalyana Mitra, then you just miss this wonderful and great blissful opportunity of this human life. So I, as a monk, I just consider this very much. I do not like to just the get connection with your mean-minded, even with monks. If they just don't behave in accordance with the Dhamma and Vinaya, then we can't correct them in such a way that we want, and also in such a way that we just consider Dhamma and Vinaya righteous. Therefore, better way, better step that we can take, I can take, is just move away from such a bad behavior personality. And also lay people should also that taken into highly consideration what the Buddha spoke from this Jataka and also from the Mangala Sutta. Our spiritual journey becomes matured, and also we can grow in the spiritual Dhamma, the spiritual field, and in the Dhamma, with the support, with the help of this noble quality of noble support from these good-hearted people. So that is my advice here today from this Dhamma explanation. And we should not just regard it, we should not take this Dhamma factor especially for granted. We should regard it highly. So you may have some questions. We can talk about it later. We can discuss. And so, friends in the Dhamma, in this occasion, I just uh, from dharmic way, like to just instruct and also ask you to just regard and consider these Dhamma advice given by the Buddha about the wise, noble-minded people association. And also I wish you all to find very good, noble, pure-minded friends, spiritual friends, and also to just have a very peaceful journey along this noble Dhamma path. Ultimately, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. That is my sole aspiration and wish for every one of you today. Thank you very much.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Much merit. Well, Bachchan.
Okay, and if you have some comments or questions that can be connected to this, and also anything further to just scratch from this Jataka story, it's good. And how many of you are today?
I don't know actually.
Swami
11?
Vansa, there's 12 people.
Okay,
I mean,
good.
11 people, 12 including you. 11
Okay,
people.
okay, good.
Swami Vansa, may I ask a question as well?
Yeah, you are welcome.
You said, Swami Vansa, that when you associate with bad people, that slowly you become like them.
Yeah.
Why, like, is that because of your ignorance you appreciate the bad ways as good ways, and then you develop those bad ways thinking that they're good, or how does that happen? I just was wondering.
Mind.
This is what happened uh, because the sansaric habit in every one of us stronger than what we are going to plant in our heart newly. So ignorance and greed, hatred, aversion, and envy, jealousy, these are also having part of our mind, similar to others. But one way or the other, with the support of good-hearted people, we have been able to just push them down so that not allowing these mental qualities to come to the surface so that we get disturbed. So we are trying, spiritually, we are trying to just behave in that way. So meanwhile, by chance, we just happen to be with bad-minded, evil people. Then what happened? Their negative thoughts and the power of negative thoughts and the sansaric behavior is stronger. than ours. Then when we are going to be with them and also just associate with them, what will happen to us is because easily we are dragged towards them. Their negative force will influence on us. So then, even though we have just tried to just push our negative thoughts down, because of being with them, again, this will come to the surface. So that is why we are going to fall into that miserable state because of their association. So that is what happened. If if you know the such a so how to say that matured minded or a spiritual minded and a very well trained minded person is there, then they are not going to be caught by the energy or from that asappurusa or me minded evil ones, because we get caught and also we are dragged to them because of our sansaric habits, and also the evil-minded person's sansaric habit is also stronger than us. That is what I can just suggest to you. Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you, Swami Wansa.
Welcome.
Bhante, now you say mean-minded people and evil-minded. So I'm assuming these are people who have poor speech and bad actions and thoughts. Now, when you say mean-minded, what do you mean? Are they not generous, or are they just pure bad people? Can you explain that, please?
Mean-minded means in everywhere they are mean-minded and evil-minded. You say that you see the Buddha in Anguttara Nikaya said that there are three characteristics to identify and recognize the mean-minded evil ones. I just know the similar words I use are mean-minded, evil-minded, unwholesome, demeritorious people, and the fool. Why? Because mean-minded means why you become mean-minded, because you have very mean and very negative ideas and very harmful and damaging and then quite detrimental and harmful to others and not any constructive. Your thoughts are very ruinous when you are going to just speak with others, and ruinous idea, ruinous thoughts there. So that is why I just mentioned. And you see, it is not in one way. Mean-minded means evil thoughts we have. The Anguttara Nikaya, the Sutta say that there are three characters to identify and recognize one mean and an evil person. The way he speaks is bad and destructive and harmful. The way that mean-minded is acts is harmful and ruinous and destructive. And if you find that the harmful acts, harmful words from a person, you can't find anymore his mind is okay, because his mind is also ruinous and destructive and harmful and injurious. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Welcome. So, yeah, any other participant, Dhamma friends?
Bhante, if we are stuck with a set of bad people and we can't really get away from them easily, then like I know, for example, we can keep metta, for example, but any other advice how to be safe?
Yes, I can suggest in this way as a remedy for this. On some occasions, you cannot 100% avoid and get away from such people in workplaces, in your village, in your family, the circle. You cannot just get away from them. They are there. So then you have to understand your limit and also the distance. And it's better to keep arm's length distance regarding them. Arm's length distance is very safe. If you are get closer to them, their negativity and also the negative energy will flow onto your mind and flow onto just fall onto your head, and also you are influenced by them. Therefore, it's better to just keep a safe distance between you and the other people and negative minded people. And also sometimes, it is unavoidable. You have that, whether it is good or bad, you have to be with them. Therefore, you have to be very mindful. It is okay to just wish happiness and also practice metta and loving thoughts with them and send your positive energy towards them to make them right and correct. That is also acceptable. That is wholesome. And also, you see, your metta power is stronger than their idea, then you will you will become the winner. Otherwise, if they just simply couple of minutes you say that may you be well, may you be happy, is a kind of a crispy metta bhavana, is not strong. That means you are just like you are chewing a chocolate and a seed ball tasting metta. That type of metta bhavana is not strong enough to just handle such situations. You should have a very strong, very developed, very matured metta thoughts to just handle situations with such people. Therefore, it's better to just keep arm's length distance, safer for you, and uh, and uh, and also just wish happiness, and the rest of time you have to just completely switch off to them. This is my advice, suggestion, advice.
Thanks a lot, Bante. Sadhu, sadhu.
After a long time, we are just being online and blessing to the technology. I see some, the very beautiful people on the screen. So you are welcome to ask questions. I'm wearing my headphone. Do you have any other question? If not, we can wind up for today. Is that okay? Yes, I can't hear because you have muted your mic. It's okay. But anyway, I'm very happy to be with you because I'm really a busy monk here. But I have not forgotten any one of you there. I know that. I sense that you are living in Melbourne and other cities. I bless you, everyone, and just be living here in Wellington, New Zealand. I have to just afford so many hours to the world and sometimes Sri Lanka. These days, most importantly, to the people who die in Sri Lanka, we have to just hold Pansakula and Matakwatra Dana and 7 day, 3 months Dana here. So I get caught by so many activities. So I do not have much time. But anyway, fortunately today, I thought of last week it would be good to just talk to the Melbourne supporters and also good-hearted friends and Dhamma friends there. So that is why I just talked to Dr. Lalit and Mrs. Fern about this, and also fortunately they were able to find this opportunity, and also that is the reason why I have been able to come online to talk to you on the Dhamma. I'm very happy and bless you. May the blessings of the Triple Gem be upon you all by this merit power and merit power and also Dhamma power, the power of the all perfections practiced by the Bodhisattva in his Bodhisattva field in the past existences, and also by the supreme knowledge that the Buddha gained and the Sila, Samadhi and Panya. May you be well, happy and peaceful. May you never associate with bad-hearted, evil-minded people until you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana, and also every time, every moment, everywhere where you go and find people to be with you and good-hearted and gentle-minded and very kalyanamita, spiritual-minded people, and also spiritual friends, and also based upon their association, may you all be able to practice 10 types of perfections, ultimately perfecting and maturing yourself in the Dhamma field. Every one of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. That is my sole aspiration for every one of you today. Thank you very much. Much merit for you to
Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Much merit.
Sadhu,
thank
Thank
sadhu,
you.
you.
sadhu.
Everyone,
Thank you, Bante.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So nice to see you, Bante, after a long time. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
Bante, very nice to see you, Bante.
Thank
Hope
you.
you can come again soon, Bante.
See you.